Now, I've got no idea if other countries have these cicadas or not. It actually is not too bad at the moment. They get that loud, it hurts your ears. But they were really loud about 10 seconds ago, but they've just got a little bit shy. Just in case you don't know what they are, there's one right there. Very attractive looking thing, aren't they? Anyway, we can come and look at that. What's going on here? Someone's hooning around here. Jeez, I don't know. Look at that. What's that? Oh, it's me. Alright guys, just a quick video. I'll just have a quick stop. So no riding and talking today. All my mics got caught on something and broke, so you all might go, hey, thank God for that. Anyway, just a quick review, just a quick update. The last review on this bike was about just this side of 1,000 Ks. I've now put on it 5,030 Ks. 5,030 Ks. And yes, I still own the bike. I still got it. I have not sold it. And I have no intentions to. Loving the T7. I've just done my own oil change about 3 days ago, put new oil in it. So I changed the oil every 5,000. Next service is at 10,000. I'll take that to the dealership, and they can take my $380 just for an oil change. Yeah. Anyway, I want to do that just so I can make sure it still keeps in the warranty. Any problems with the T7? Nope. Not one problem. No, nothing. Nothing at all. No, nothing comes to mind. Oh, hang on a minute. We did have one recall for these from Yamaha in Australia, or I'm assuming all Australia. Catastrophic. Could lead to that. So danger. It said in the email. Could lead to death because a vehicle not being able to see you and coming in contact with the vehicle. So what it is, a recall, which is pretty major things. Unfortunately, it's a major thing. It needs to be fixed. I haven't done it yet because I'm a risk taker. But what it is that reflector. That's right, that reflector needs to be replaced. It's not up to standard apparently. It's not bright enough, so a car coming from behind may not see the motorcycle and hit the back of me. Okay, so that needs to be replaced. That's a big recall for the Yamaha T7. Come on, Yamaha. Jeez, you can improve that, can't you? Jeez. So that's it. That's all I got to whinge about the bike. That needs to be recalled. That needs to go back and fixed. And I knew that about 4,999 Ks ago. So as you can see, I'm in a hurry to take it back to get that fixed. Yeah, so anyway, that's it. Like I said, I was looking at the KTM 790. Unfortunately, the KTM 790, which I'm not surprised, has had a lot of issues. Some people are very lucky, no issues. Other people, not so lucky. All right, so yeah, I'm very happy that I got the T7. Put it that way. Right, now I have done some mods. I want to be as quick as possible so I don't bore you to tears, everyone interested. Okay, so it's just what I have done. The biggest thing about the Tenere everyone talk about is the suspension. In my review, I said suspension's okay, and it is okay. It's very softly sprung. Now, I do say that in the review, and I say it's softly valved as well, okay? Now, remember, my weight is 80 kilos with all my gear on, so I'm a lightweight. So, for general riding, I had no problem with the standard suspension. But when I wanted to have a bit more fun and get out there and pretend that I'm a racer, I found the limits of the suspension very quickly. So, I wanted a bit more from the bike. All right, so what did I end up doing? What I decided to do is that rally raid, there they are there, what I did, can you tell what I've done to the bike by looking at that image right now? Some of you might be going, oh yeah, I can see the difference. If you can't, you can see the fork cap, for an example, is completely different to the standard one. So what Rally Raid do, they actually sell a cartridge insert. All right, so what that means is, guys, is that the cartridge that's inside that fork gets taken out, the Yamaha one, and this brand new one goes in its replace. All right, so you can see the little bit difference here. All right, so what that is there, that's compression on the left side and rebound on the right side, and it also has preload for the front forks as well. All right, naturally better product than the standard. Naturally, you pay for it. I think it's got a 35mm piston in it. Standard is 20mm, and I think 35 is the biggest you can get. So that helps with oil flow and all sorts of stuff. So I decided to pull the pin and get those, because if I wanted to, I could have got the front forks revalved with the standard cartridge inserts and get heavier springs as well. All right, talk too much about it. The reason why, you can go to the YouTube channel, go to Mad TV. So just type in Mad space, put a TV, and then just put in motorcycle and hit search, and down the bottom you'll see Mad TV. All right, they do a review. He does a review on the forks, and they also do a review on different types of forks and revalving as well. All right, so watch those two videos. Now I concur with what he's saying. The guy who does the review on these, he does have an interest in those forks. He does the R&D work for him. He would have got the forks and the shock for free. Okay, so I'm always a little bit hesitant when someone has an interest in a product that they're reviewing. All right, but I can sincerely say for myself, who pays 100% for this, and I'm not getting any for free, is that the forks are fantastic, night and day to the standard forks, night and day. I can ride this bike to my potential now, which is not very fast, but to my potential, and no problem at all. Absolutely no problem. We'll hit the drainage humps, launch off them, have a ball. Fantastic. The bike sits so much better. Just quickly, guys, the springs on the bike are really softly sprung. So it's a softly sprung bike, okay? So what that means is that when the bike under its own weight, it sags, all right? Which it does, all right? And it sags probably too much, because it's a percentage or rule of thumb that each bike, the static sag for a bike regarding how much travel it has. And this should be about 20mm front and back. That's how much it should sag under its own weight, all right? It doesn't. It sags something like nearly 40mm on the front, and the best I could get to the back with the preload wound right up was 35mm, I think it was. So it sags too much, all right? So Rally Raid sell 3 spring rates with these cartridge inserts. All right, there's a 5.6, there's a 6mm Newton meter, and there's a 6.4. 5.6 is for up to 75 kilos rider, and then next one's up from 75 up to 95, which is the 6 Newton meter, and then the 6.4 is over 95 kilos. All right, so I went for the middle spring. All right, and I can't complain. It's really, when you first get on the bike, you can notice how stiff it is at first, on the road especially. And I was thinking, oh no, I've gone too stiff on this. It's not going to be good at all. But it works fantastic. All right, so get on there and have a look at Mad TV. They do a review on these, okay? And yes, I can concur what he's saying. All right, I agree with everything he's saying. They're a really good fork. Yeah, so that's what I've done for the front end of it. And naturally they give you some stickers. All right. The chap who did the work for me, he's local. It's called Motorcycle Biz in New South Wales. He owns a Yamaha Tenere himself. He's got this computer type thing that can do for the reshock, that is, that goes up and down, does him more charts and all sorts of stuff. And you can see where there's a weakness in that as well, for the shock, that is. So I got him, and Rally Raid also sell a rear shock as well, which is about $2,000. Well, I didn't have the money for that, nor did I worry about it, or was even thinking of doing that. I stayed with the standard rear shock. Okay, I got it revalved by Motorcycle Bits, so Clive, he revalved it for me. And also the rear spring, the standard rear spring in the Tenere is a 6 Newton meter. This is how it tells you how softly sprung they are. I went to an 8. Okay, so that's what Clive put in it for me. And that's now with 15 mils with static sag, and it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. The bike's good with the standard suspension. I stand by that. It's fine. You know what I mean? If you ride it a certain way in a certain limit, but like I said before, I reached that limit straight away. And the biggest thing I noticed the difference is when I did my hill trip, and I had the bike, a fair bit of gear on the bike. That's when I noticed it big time. The front end, even hitting small bumps and that, it was bottoming me out. I found it bottoming me out quite easily through the stroke, and a bit of a bit of a noise. Actually hit my side centre stand there. Oh, that's got loose again. It keeps coming loose. Tighten that up again. So now it's fantastic. All right, so that's it. That's suspension. That's the upgrade. there's cheaper ways you can do it. I do recommend, if you're going to do anything, guys, to your bike, and you want to spend the least amount of money on the suspension, that is, just get it resprung. Find out your weight, take it to a suspension specialist, get the right springs inserted at least. Do that as a minimal, and now the valving, what's in it, that's fine. Just adjust the dials to what's best for you. At least to the springs, you will notice the difference big time. Just the springs, okay? That's the cheapest option. And then you don't have to do the inserts. I mean, you can go with the valving, and I think you'll find the majority of people will find that okay. All right. I just wanted something a bit special because, you know, I'm special, so I want special forks. All right. I also got this guard. I was waiting for someone to make one. That's all I wanted, like this plastic type guard. I didn't want the big bloody aluminium steel ones you can get and all sorts of stuff. That's all I wanted. And it finally one come up on eBay. They were making them. It's in England, I think, somewhere. $60. Just a little Velcro stuck on. You can just pull it off. Bit of a gap there, but you can just pull it off. Oh, so far it hasn't fallen off. I had the same type of setup on the African Twin, and that did actually end up coming off. And I had two-sided tape. It's like a clear colour two-sided tape, and I put that on and replaced it with them. So I just cut out little squares like that and stuck that on, and it didn't move. So if this happens and falls off, I'll do the same thing. But so far, there we go. That's what you do. So far, it's staying on. So I've hit some quite, as you can see the bike, we had some rain out here in Australia. It's been our summer. It hasn't been a real summer that we normally have, but we've had some real hot days there last week, up to 38, 39 degrees. That's in the shade. But we've had some rain in the last few days as well. That's why the bike's pretty dirty. I will take this home and wash it, and it'll be spotless again. Right, I do want to talk about this very quickly. Something I'm concerned about, and something that I didn't realise. When I bought the bike, guys, I had a 140 80B18 rear tyre, Motos tyre. It was the Desert HT, brand new tyre. And I asked the dealership, and I'm not blaming them, I asked the dealership, can this tyre fit on the Tenere rear rim? And their response was, yeah, we put the 140 on our Teneres for mostly off-road riding, all right? So why do I want to run 40? 140, in my opinion, is better for off-road. Gives you a bit more, because the route narrow, a bit more grip. They turn from left to right, from side to side a little bit better as well. They're easy to change, easy to break the bead as well. And, important as well, is they're a lot cheaper as well. Okay, this was 180. So the tyre, I've actually replaced that tyre. Like I said, I got over 5,000 Ks on that tyre. Now, so I replaced that tyre yesterday, all right? So I let the tyre down. Now, we all know with a 150 tyre and the heavier, even the 140 tyre, right? When you let them down, the bead stays on the rim, all right? So you need a bit of force to break the bead, especially the 150s. The African Twin was a nightmare, all right? But when I let the tyre out, with air out of the tyre basically, the bead almost just about fell off. It did. I didn't have to put hardly any pressure on it, and the bead come away from the rim. I went, oh, geez, that was easy. What's going on there? And then I broke the bead. It didn't have to come off either side. And then the tyre was really sort of floppy on the rim. I thought to myself, wow, that come off. There's no way in the world. If I got a flat tyre, and a quick flat tyre, so it went down pretty quick, that tyre would stay on the rim. So what? I went, geez. So anyway, I fitted this tyre, which is still 140/80, okay. And again, all right, like this tyre itself, in its natural sort of shape where it wants to be, for an example, that tyre, it might be about that wide, you know what I mean? The tyre's about that wide. So when you put it on, it sits between here and the rim here, okay? And it flops around because it's just not wide enough. It's too small, all right? So even though that the bike shop said to me they run a 140 on it, I don't think that's the case. What I'm worried about is that if you get a flat tyre, like I said earlier, it's not going to hold. The bead's going to come off that rim straight away, and that's serious. That's really serious, especially if you're doing a bit of sitting on 80, 90 Ks. That tyre's just going to come straight off the rim, and that's not fun. So I am a little bit worried about that. I mean, it's a 4-inch rim, all right? So I have gone to Motos website, and they do say a 140 tyre is basically a, I think a 3-inch, they said, is the minimal size. And normally it's a 250 to 275, but it does allow a 3-inch tyre. That's a 4-inch rim, sorry. So, yeah, I'm a bit worried. So if anyone else is running a 140 tyre, mate, just shoot us a comment. Now remember, this is my a Motos tyre. Each manufacturer is a little bit different in their tyres, even though they say it's a 140. So the best way to know is, guys, if you've got a 140 fitted now, you easily, if you're worried about it now as well, just go out to the garage, let your tyre down, let the valve out, okay? Let your tyre go flat. All right, you don't have to take your tyre off the bike, and see if the bead stays on the rim. All right. If it doesn't go off and you can't push it off with your hand, and you should be fine. It should be okay. But this doesn't do that, guys. I could get that tyre off with basically without levers. That's how much easy it was to get it off. All right. So I have sent an email to Motos as well, to ask them and get their opinion. They haven't come back to me yet. If they don't, I'll ring them. Because before I didn't know, what do they say, ignorance is bliss, okay, but now I do know, and because I did notice the tyre. So you see the tyre here, I hope you can pick it up, because what it's doing, that rim's, it's 4 inches wide, right, so what it's doing is it's pushing that tyre open a fair bit to fit on that rim, and it's really squared off that tyre. And I did notice that even when they did it the first time, so I don't know. Anyway, just hope I don't get a flat, I suppose. I'm doing 100 k's, sitting on 100 kilometres. Anyway, I'll get back to you, let you know about that anyway. And I do have one more surprise coming. Hopefully I might get it by the end of February. I bought it last year, but because of COVID-19 and shipping, all sorts of stuff, I'm not the only one. Unfortunately, the supplies that they were getting, it wasn't their fault. It just, yeah, went pear-shaped. So hopefully I might get it by Feb, and I'll fit that up. It probably won't be everyone's liking, but yeah, I'll talk about that when I get that fitted. All right, that's it. Be good. See yous. Right, guys, so this is what I mean. So I've just let the air out of this tyre. So I've taken the valve out, and as you can see, if you can see this here, the bead just comes straight off the rim. Straight off. Look at that. Now, if that happens when you're doing 100 kilometres an hour, you're in big trouble. Alright? So it's come completely off the rim. As you can see, this side's stayed on, but that'll come off once you start pushing the, if you're actually riding the bike, that would be off. Alright? Because the simple fact is the tyre, let me just show you outside here in the sun. I've got the old tyre, which I've got to take to the, take and throw away. The problem is, the tyre between here is just too narrow for the rim. So what it wants to do, the tyre wants to go back to its natural shape. And you can see that's what happens. Where I don't know what a 150 tyre might be, but 150 tyre might be something like that wide, in its natural shape. Alright, so I'm not telling anyone what to do. It's up to you to make the decision. But if you're running a 140 tyre on, what you're doing, what I feel I'm doing anyway, you're putting yourself at risk, because you do get a flat tyre. Yeah, that tyre's going to come off that rim, and it's not going to be pretty. So I just thought, let people know you want to take that gamble. I didn't realise it. I did over 5,000 k with the other tyre on. This tyre's on here now. Look, I'll probably leave it on as well. But then when I replace this tyre, looks like I'll have to go back to the 150 to make sure it seats properly on the rim. Anyway, I have to pay more money for the tyres. I just thought I'd let you know, just in case, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't fit their own tyres. So if someone's fitted that tyre for you, like a dealership or someone like that, and you're not aware of it, just please be aware of it. Do your own test, go out in the garage, let the tyre down and see if this happens. Alright, as you can see right there, straight off. If it doesn't, try a little bit of force. You don't need much, you'll see it'll fall off. Or take the bike off the stand and roll it around, and it will probably come off the rim. Anyway, I thought I'd just let you know. Anyway, ride safe. See yous.